Good evening, racing fans. Welcome to another edition of Woodbine Racing Live inside the not the grandstand. We're inside the paddock. Greg Gangle alongside Double J, Jody Jamieson, three-time O'Brien Award winner. We're going to talk a little bit about hockey, more so about harness racing, particularly tonight's card. Jody has 10 drives and 11 races. Jody, obviously, we're sporting the Canadian attire here. Tomorrow morning is the gold medal game between Canada and Sweden. 7 a.m. is the start time. Are you going to be up?
Well, I figured if I'm ever going to do it tomorrow, why not do it tomorrow? Do it one time in your life. You know, tomorrow's the best reason I can think of.
Absolutely, and Canada's going to play Sweden. It's a very important game. More so, let's talk a little bit about last year. You're a three-time O'Brien Award winner. You weren't here 2 Saturdays ago. You're in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. The O'Brien Awards were taking place. Tell me about that experience.
Well, you know, Greg, the O'Brien Awards, like I tell anybody, is the Oscars of Canadian harness racing. It's the biggest night of the year for so many things. All these awards, and you know, it was bittersweet for me. It was a great night. Being a director of the Standardbird Canada and for the Ontario Harness Horse Association, I was there in those capacities. But you know, like I say, it was bittersweet because I felt that I had a great year last year, and I think the O'Brien Award could have gone any different way. It went to the hardest working guy and probably the most deserving in Sylvain Filion. But like I said, anytime I'm there, I'd like to obviously have my name forward as driver of the year. But it just gives me more pause to and strength to go forward in 2014 and maybe even win the O'Brien Award once again if I get lucky.
Speaking of last year, how would you sum up your year?
You know, I had a great year, Greg. The biggest disappointment for me was that I had a lot of seconds in major races and races that classic races. It took me till the end of or the middle of December, I guess, to win the Cleveland Classic with a great horse, Prentice Hanover, who you folks are well adverse to or well adhered to, right here at Woodbine. And he's got 7 in a row now, I think, dating back to the Cleveland Classic or the week before. So he's a hell of a horse, and he seems to be getting better here as we go forward.
One thing is you're a 3-time O'Brien Award winner, so obviously you're at the top of the ladder here on the WEG circuit in Canada for that matter. Last year with Sylvain Filion, how hard is it to maintain and stay at that top level on a consistent basis? You know,
I think a lot of people take it for granted, actually. It involves day after day, night after night, qualifying sessions, schooling sessions, training sessions. It's everyone says the 5%ers this, 5%ers that. You're earning your money tonight. You're earning your money this night. But definitely you have to put a ton of time in. It's a ton of time away from your family, and it's a huge sacrifice for anybody involved close to you. I've been very fortunate to be involved with my wife, Stephanie, and my children. They've been very, very supportive of my career going forward. And, it's no different with Sylvain or even Doug, who's a young man, Scott Zeron, another young man who's been driving horses and doing it well. It's a sacrifice for their families to put that time in, but it definitely takes a lot. And, it just cannot be undersaid.
Okay, you got 10 dashes tonight on the 11 race program. Let's start off in race number 1. Bit of a long shot in here. You have Derby Dillon here for trainer Vic Putty. You guys have had a great season so far together. This one has a bit of an outside chance here at 15-1, but post 5.
Yeah, I mean, I love the post, but, Derby Dillon, he just hasn't been getting at it. He's actually up a little bit in class as a filler in here. There's a couple horses in there that, I'm going to give him the best shot I know how to get him to the wire first. But like I said, he's in quite tough, and, like I said, I'm going to give him a shot.
Another horse that moves up in class, we got Dapper DENZIL in here in race number 2. This is a horse that you've had a lot of success with. Paul McLean gets this horse back for the 3rd time here in recent weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Dapper DENZIL, just a great effort last week. People have noticed in the past he'll drift across the track in the straightaways. It wasn't the case last week, and he couldn't. He was just too good, straight down the stretch to win in 52, 26-1 on the end, which was the wind helping that day.
Yeah, here's the replay of that
night, and but the horse was just absolutely bionic. I know the Putty stable, Victor Putty stable, did not want to lose this horse last week. I am sure this horse will do in this class. Obviously, it's a big jump up to the 20 to 35 condition or class claimers. I think I can be right there. I think Shelby's Cobra and maybe even Blended Whiskey can follow us. I don't see. I see Genesee stepping back a little bit this week, but I really like Dapper DENZIL in the second race.
Okay, what kind of trip? Because you draw inside, it's a short field just with 7 horses. he's versatile enough. He can be put on the front or race off a helmet.
Yeah, well, if I told you, then everybody would know. So I'm going to keep that to myself from now. But he's got a shot, folks.
Okay, race number 3, Oakley Sydney. Draws the rail in here, comes over from Flamborough. And I was talking to Ron Parsons earlier this week, and he thinks quite a bit of her here tonight.
Well, that was probably a valuable conversation. But anyways, Oakley Sydney, I don't know much about her. I can tell you this. The line in 2 minutes, 3 back from London, is a huge trip. I know time doesn't mean anything unless you're in jail, but 2 minutes over London usually equates to somewhere between 56 to 57 here at Woodbine. Obviously, the conditions aren't great tonight with a very vigorous wind in your face in the stretch and leaving the gate. But with the inside post, she's not going to have to do a ton of work to get spotted, and looks like she's coming around in the right time.
Okay. Over race number 4, this kicks off the $50,000 guaranteed early pick 4. Nickel bag, you draw outside here for Sean Robinson, 12-1 morning line.
Yeah, now this is another tough bunch. I've never driven nickel bag before. Actually, there was some bantering going on in the driver's room here at qualifiers, wondering how I got the drive, and your guess is as good as mine, Phil. So, anyways, I think keeping optimistic on the rail there is a horse that's got a great shot, obviously, from a very hot barn and a mediocre driver most days, but he's been pretty hot lately in Waples. Breeze Creek, another hot stable, hot driver team. And Bilbo Hanover threw in a clunker last week, but I think you'll see a different horse.
Okay. Over race number 5, this is the ultra consistent Order by Commander. Comes out of the Vic Putty Barn. This is a horse that I think you got to have on your pick 4 tickets.
Yeah, a guy I like driving for a lot, Victor Putty. He brings his horses ready at all times, and if there's anything I want to change or if I think we can help, we definitely make comments to one another between races. And the only time I don't like talking to Victor is when he's telling me he's not going to put me back on a horse. But Order by Commander, he's a pleasure to drive. He's been winning. He doesn't usually win by a lot, but he's been a really good horse for Vic going forward.
It seems like he's really good off a helmet. This was last week's replay when he win by a head, and he kind of come out of the clouds here a little bit because sometimes it seems like he's not going to get the job done. But last week he did.
Yeah, and I feel the same way with him. I felt a couple weeks there that I've won, and even one when I didn't win, but I didn't think I was going to get there, and he actually got up just on the last stride, which is shows his mindset as a good racehorse.
Absolutely, and he remains at the same level that he won at last week. Another horse that's very impressive comes out of the Putty Barn, Winning Dream. Tell me about last week. First time Lasix, that was an outstanding effort.
Yeah, no, I was really worried about choking him off through the stretch. I had a huge hold on him. There was plenty in reserve. I love Winning Dream tonight.
Is he better? Do you like him better than Order by Commander?
Yeah, they're both like in the right spot. Winning Dream is obviously moving up in class. You can see the replay here. I was turning him loose. I was a little worried about that's JD's Caleb Man, who is a horse that's a quite a bit lower caliber horse in that class coming up, and I was worried that he might out-sprint me in the stretch, but like you say, first time Lasix for Winning Dream. He seemed to really take to it well. I don't see, there's Cool Rock is obviously a hard closer. Stonebridge on Ice, you can never count him out. World Away will be part of the mix. Drain Daddy, who I took off this week, I think he's gonna progress again. Daddy Warbox is hot, and Phil Houdon. No one's hotter than Phil Houdon here lately.
Especially with longer shots. Race number 7, you have Click K. Here comes out of the Ben Wallace Barn. It seems like this horse has his work cut out for him. Yeah,
he drew bad again. Last week I fought with him too much off the gate. He wants to get out of there, and he wants to get out of there hard. And he just doesn't want to be messed with. He wants you to let him do his thing. So depending on how it works out, hopefully I'll be able to slide in somewhere and give this horse the trip that he wants.
Okay. Over in race number 8, you pick up a nice drive here in Lucky Terror. This is a horse that won this level 3 starts back. Oh, sorry, at a higher level 3 starts back. Comes out of the Sean McDonald Barn, 7-1 morning line. You pick up a nice catch drive.
Yeah, Lucky Terror. This is an ultra consistent horse for Sean in Glenview Livestock. Great people to drive for, very supportive. They've been supporting Jonathan Drury a lot here lately, and the young guy that's getting a shot to do some damage here on this circuit. This horse, I think he was in over his head last week. He's not an open horse. He is, however, a very decent middle of the road conditioned horse, and this is his class. This horse, he'd be very good in here. Anderlecht was awesome last week. Frankie's Dragon has been failing. Classic Gent was pretty damn good last time too, but I really like Lucky Terror in here.
Yeah, here he is winning 3 starts back there at a higher level. Just gets up, wins by a nose there for Jack Moiseyev. So lots to like about him there as well. Over in race number 9, you're going to be on the trot mare here. Aquanilla. Again, Jonathan Drury's been driving this daughter. You pick up a catch drive, you draw inside.
Yeah, I got a text from Ben Paquette. He's unfortunately in Montreal at a funeral this weekend, and Aquinelli, he told me to make her mad, or she won't try. So I said, Ben, okay, I'll be there. I'll have her mad. Obviously, seemed Jonathan got along with her good in the last 2 starts, and Boogie Woogie out there in the post 9 picked her up last time. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. We'll be far enough ahead, I hope. I don't know much about her, but it seems she's good gated, so I'll be able to be a little more aggressive with her.
Here she is last week with Jonathan Drury, finishing second there, just beat by half a length. It seems like she's got that patented closing kick. It seems like she's better coming off a helmet more so than being put on the front.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you, and I'll give that a try. I appreciate the advice, but I think when I throw the custom cam bike on her, the Carbon American model from Custom Saltke, my bike, the best bike in the business, I think it'll make a difference in this mare, and you might just see her in the winner's circle.
What is it about that bike? Because as far as I know, you're the only driver that uses it. Everybody else is either the Advantage, the Spider, etc.
Yeah.
You stick to this bike. Why?
Well, I was in Finland 3 years ago, and I was invited to Custom Factory to look at their race bikes, and they introduced me to this bike. It's a carbon fiber bike, meaning it's very light.
Yep.
Most times you buy or you have a race bike that's very light, it doesn't track very well, and it actually causes drag on the horse.
Okay. This
is one of those bikes that doesn't do that. I've loved the bike. I think, a lot of people don't like the look of the bike, but to me, like I said, it's the best bike in the business. It's obviously the most expensive. You can buy 2 Advantages or 2 UFOs or Tornadoes for the price of one of these. So, that's probably the biggest reason, and people aren't quite sold on it. But, I love the bike. I love the support I've been given by Custom Saltke, and I'm going to keep rolling with it.
Okay. You don't have a drive in race number 10, but you have a final drive in race number 11. For trainer Carmen Osceola, Champagne Phil. You drove this horse last week. Bit of a tough trip.
Yeah, I really drove him bad. They asked me to race the horse.
Did drivers say that? I drove him bad?
Yeah, I just did. I just did. It was quite easy to say, too.
Sometimes they don't say it.
No, I don't have any problem admitting that I drove the horse bad. I was really excited to get the drive. I've been trying to get Carmen Osceola stable now for about 2 years. Yep. Finally, he's coming to his senses and putting me on a couple horses. But no, Carmen's horse, he's been at Yonkers. He didn't like the trips he was getting in Yonkers. They weren't trying him as much as he'd like them to be tried. So I gave the horse a shot, and I actually overdrove him, and I'm not planning on doing the same thing tonight. I believe there is some competition in there. I think Pouvoir du Hurrah is coming off a couple of poor efforts, but I think that horse is going to jump up and surprise us at any time. Brock's Fortune was caught in dead solid behind me till late in the mile last time. Another Victor Putty horse, Roethlisberger, Burning Shore coming off a layoff, but I really like Champagne Phil tonight. I think it's his race to win.
Okay. The entire card, your most probable winner. If I was a bettor, I'd say, give me some money or give me a tip. I can't lose.
I got to tell you, I really, really like Champagne Phil in the last race. He's a horse that, like I said, I really made a mistake with him last week. I don't know if you recall the race. I didn't clear till past the half.
Yep.
And Mike Safdie came with Anderlecht, who's back in tonight, and I went with him as hard as I could go. And what I should have done was probably turn him loose to try to be second for myself. But I really thought the horse might come back on. Like I said, I overdrove him. It was a bad drive. I'm not planning on doing the same thing tonight, and I think Champagne Phil is my most probable winner.
Just on a closing note, here in 2014, you are WAG's leading driver. Obviously, things are going well for you this season.
Well, I must say, Greg, I appreciate you mentioning that, and thank you very much, and I hope things continue.
Okay.